I really like choice reading because it's like I get to express myself through my books, and I get a lot of freedom with what book I read and when I read it and how I'm going to read it. I don't always have to write a summary afterwards, or I'm not always assigned pages. So, yeah.
Me personally, I don't read.
But once we started doing choice reading and I started doing like research on my own books, I started to find books according to my hobbies and interests. And like now it's like now it's like I'd rather read than actually do the hobby sometimes.
I never used to read, but I read now. I've read like 14 books so far. I like reading now.
I think like choice reading is like a wonderful thing, but you have to make time for it.
So this year, I really improved with my reading compared to other years when I was in English class. I wasn't really engaged knowing that the teachers had assigned us books to read, and I didn't really agree with the books, but knowing that we had access to choice reading, I could be more engaged with my reading. So it has drastically improved from other years.
I think that choice reading is successful, except for it has some minor flaws, like if we're reading in class and some people that don't choose to read at that time, they'll be loud and then it's distracting. I really do like it because it kind of takes away fake discussions or fake reading, because when you read a book all together with the whole class and then you come together to discuss what you read, people don't really know what they're talking about, so they'll go on SparkNotes or they'll bring something up that isn't really relevant to the conversation, but it's the only thing they know because it's what somebody told them or what they looked up online. So I like choice reading because when you actually read the book, you know what you're talking about.
So I think other teachers should try choice reading for a couple different reasons. In my old school, we didn't have choice reading, and we read what we were told to, different Shakespeare books, different books, and we had to write an essay on it. And in previous years in high school, and I never fake read because I always thought that, oh, the teacher's gonna know I didn't read the book. So I always read, but I never enjoyed it. And I was never a big reader on my own until this year when we had this 40 book challenge, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of books. I really wanna challenge myself. It seems really interesting. And so far, from September to now, which is February, with a couple breaks in between, I've read at least 15 books, and it's really like cool for myself to know that, wow, I read 15 books and of all different genres, and to know, wow, I read a classic book. I never thought I was going to do that, especially not as a 16-year-old. And I think it really brings interest in everyone. When we have choice reading time in class, yes, some people don't do it, but the majority do, and you really see, wow, people are actually reading, because when you get a book that you're told to, okay, read chapter 2 and do an assignment on, most people don't. So I think it's impacted my reading experience, and I think it should impact everyone else's reading experience.